Well, howdy ho, 2P race fans. Glad to see you guys today. It's a nice day out. Kind of a little chilly, but boy, I haven't been in the shop in a long minute. So, look, it's even dark in here. I ain't got no lights on. So here's the deal. Is we had some major problems at work. And I lost my voice, and I'm starting to get it back. Yeah. I sound like I'm about 13 years old and going through puberty. That's all right. So I got some exciting news. I think it's exciting. It's exciting for me. Well, I mean, I guess it could be exciting for everybody. Let me get me hooked up here and let's get some lights on in the old shoppy shop. Well, all right, we got some lights. Well, we got a few lights. Let's see here. Maybe I got to flip my switch over here. Oh, here we go. We got lights now. Lights, camera, action. So, I've done some thinking. Yep, done some thinking for the last couple days. And here's the deal. Is I went up to Circle City for practice. Talked to the tech guy. We had a little meeting. If you've seen the last couple of videos, we had a little meeting up there. And when I got back, I posted some videos, and some of my fellow racers that I used to race with last year commented, messaged me personally, and said, "Hey, what class you going to be running?" And I told them the down low. I said, "Well, I ain't fast enough to be in the fast cars," which I was hoping I would be. But I said, "Now the tech guy said if I put DOT tires back on this car, I don't have to change anything. I just got to make sure I weigh 3,200 pounds." And because he looked the car over and he said, everything that they got going on down south that we let here last year, we let. So we're going to let you. Boy, did that ruffled a bunch of feathers. Yes, it did. So, I didn't really let it bother me a whole lot. So I brought her to the shop, and I did get my new shock on. I took the DOT or my Hoosiers off, put them on the Iowa cards, set for a minute. Put the DOT tires on here. I tried to scale it, and the daggum thing just kept rolling off the scales. Frustrated me. But my scale numbers were way off. I'm going to assume it's because the tires are a lot heavier. They are a little taller. So maybe that threw the weight, where I had it scaled at last. And honestly, it kind of frustrated me that night. And I ain't touched the car since. But in my defense, people, I had to go to North Carolina for some personal reasons last weekend. They're not racing this weekend. So the next weekend I'd be able to race anyways is next weekend. Well, I keep getting messages. And I try to talk to the tech guy to say, hey, if we're going to do this, we need to change the rules on the line, on the internet there. Because you guys got the 2003 rules posted, and last year to get the car count up, since you guys are Southern, or, Indianapolis is in the middle of the state. And they got I think they got 4 or 5 racetracks that are within an hour of them. Well, Circle City races on Friday nights. The other tracks race on Saturday nights. If I was a business owner and I was starting up a track, which they were last year was their first, I think it was their first full official year. And as a business owner, I would try to get car count. No matter what, that's my business. I'm trying to make money, trying to give a place for people to race at. It takes a lot of money to run a racetrack now. It ain't no 9-to-5 job ain't gonna cut it. So Eddie's a really, really nice guy. He's the sole owner now. I think there's 3 owners last year. I don't know what happened. It's not my place to say, but he is the sole owner now. The tech guy they have up there, super nice guy. I talked to him. He has teched asphalt cars. He did help out last year for their Halloween bash or whatever it was. So that was his first race. He teched dirt cars. He said his understanding was to get car count, and since those other tracks were so close, they kind of adjusted some rules, bent some rules, let's just say, because they never changed them online. That they would allow, the 4-barrel carburetors, the racing transmissions, still had to have, stock 4-link suspension, the basic stuff, man. Everybody wants to go fast. Everybody wants to go fast, and then everybody wants to complain and gripe and moan. Well, that guy's got a 406, and all I got is a little baby 360. Man, let me tell you something. You get online and you can see where engine builders are making 450, 475 horsepower out of a 355 or a 360 or a 358 if you don't want to go all the way to 360. You put 475 horsepower, if you get the right combination, you just don't start throwing parts at an engine and think you got a race engine. That's where everybody messes up now. They will get online, go to eBay or Summit Racing, and go get you, a thumper cam or something that, makes a choppy idle, and they'll just throw that in there, or they'll take an intake manifold right out the box and just throw it on the engine and say, oh, I got a race motor now. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have to match the cam. You have to match the valve springs. You got to match your head CC. You got to match the intake. You got to match the carburetor. You got to match all this up together to make your potential horsepower. You got to have a good bottom end. We're spinning these things, an old school stock out the factory. I mean, they redlined at like 5,800 RPM. These crate motors are only rated for 5,800 RPM. And I ain't buying it, because them boys, they got chip rules now. They got chip rules where you have to have like a 62 or 6,400 RPM chip in it. If they were designed to spin at 5,800 RPM, that max horsepower and max peak for the torque, well, I don't buy it. Some people are spinning them 7,000 RPM. So you're telling me that out of GM, they're saying that they're only rated at 5,800? I don't think so. But anyways, I don't take my car. It may hit 7,100. But most of the time it's right at 69 to 7,000 RPM. That's pretty standard, I would think. I don't know. It could probably go more than that. I was told I could run it to 7,800 RPM all day long. I don't see a point in it. My power band's gone after that. My power band is gone at right around 7,000 RPM. I don't think I need any more RPM to stay up in the corners than what I already got. I think I'm at, in the straightaways, I am at full peak, full power going into the corners. It does drop down. But I'm telling you, this motor's a bad little motor. I think it is anyways. It probably really ain't, but I think it is. And it gets up to the RPMs pretty quick. So anyways, back to the story. This man, in the last couple of days, I try to help situations out. I don't try to make big stinks about stuff. I don't complain a whole lot. So I messaged Circle City and I said, hey, we got to figure something out with all my old boys up north, Mount Pillier cars. They ain't got no place to race, and if they do, they're driving like 2 or 3 hours to Michigan to race. I said, so what can we do? He said, well, what kind of rules do they have? I said, boy, you don't want to see their rule book. I said, their rules, technically, are, I don't consider the DOT 60/70 series a rule. That's just, I mean, they all run them, you know what I mean? So, in that class, in the Bomber, Thunder cars, pure stocks, whatever you want to call them. So I don't consider that a rule to really, make a big stink about. But, Mount Pillier had 10 rules. That's it. 10 rules. They had a bunch of rules for safety and stuff like that. When it came to the actual car, as far as what you can and can't do, and how to build them, they had 10 rules. And the tires was one of them, so they had 9 rules. So, I mean, heaven forbid we incorporate 1 or 2 rules to get, 15 to 20 cars that ran at Mount Pillier to be able to have another track to go to. Well, kind of came up with a couple of solutions, a couple ideas, let's just say that. One big thing is the Southern cars don't allow weight jacks up front. They do allow them in the back. They don't allow them in the front. Now, weight jacks. If you don't know what a weight jack is, it is this guy right here. Let's see if I can get you to. So, this guy right here, it's a big old piece of all thread. It's connected to your spring cup right there. You can loosen this, put a ratchet on there, and you can either turn it down, which applies pressure to the spring, or you can raise it up, and that releases pressure, preload pressure on the spring. Well, they don't allow that. But what they do allow, which I don't understand, is they allow adjustable spring buckets. Or spring cups, I think that's what they call them. So, now, you just heard me tell you what weight jack's done. Now, you don't have to jack the car up. You can just set it on the ground there. And if you need to make a quick adjustment, you count how many. Most people go either quarter or half turns to make a fine-tuning adjustment. Let's go into the old leather shop here for a minute. Let's see if I can look around for a second. So, man, if I wasn't looking for it, it'd be boom right there out in front of me. But since I'm looking for it, well, you know how the story goes. So anyways, they allow adjustable spring buckets. Now those go up underneath there where I just showed you. But they don't have the piece of all thread that's connected to the top of it. And, well, without that, you have to jack the car up. And you have to manually get up underneath there with all the pressure off the spring. And you turn those cups. You turn them counterclockwise or clockwise. And what that does is it lowers that spring cup in there. When you set it down, it makes that adjustment. It does the exact same thing as weight jacks. Like, there is no difference that I know of. If there is a difference, please, somebody, for the love of God, chime in on one of these videos and let me know if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I'm not one to get all huffy puffy if I am wrong. Man, I really wish I could find it so I could show y'all. Some people that get on here may not know what I'm talking about. And I like to show them, and I know I got brand new ones. But anyways, That really bugs me. I swear the other day I was out here and I seen them. Now, now that I'm actually looking for them, can't find them. It's nuts, man. It's nuts how that stuff works. But anyways, so I said, you have the option to run either or. If you have the spring buckets, it's the same thing. Yes, you got to jack the car up. Yes, you got to turn it, and you manually turn it with your hand, and it does take about 5 minutes longer. But it's one of those things where, okay, so a track owner makes a minor change just like that to something that does the exact same thing that's already legal. It's just a different version of it. That's all it is a different version. Man, I tell you what, people went freaking nuts, man. My gosh. Now, some people, I will tell you, some people, man, are all about it. I talked to probably, 15, 20 people. And, there's a lot of people that's on board with it. They're excited about it. They're like, heck yeah, man. And they pay well. I'm not going to mention a specific track's name, but I seen where a fella won in Indiana and the South. That's, one of the tracks that I mentioned. That was close to him. And he won $300. Well, man, what's $300 going to do for you? Yeah, you won the trophy and you got the satisfaction of winning. And, I get that, and that may be worth more than money, but it does cost money to do this. Circle City pays $600 to win. That's double. Well, if you got to drive an hour, here's where I figure. Now, this sport, it is a hobby sport. Some people do it for a living. They travel a lot. They got good equipment, and they win a lot. They're out there to win it every weekend. We all should be, but some of us just know that ain't going to happen. So a lot of it is just to get away from the house, get away from work, and it's just a hobby. But if I got a track, and if you make the feature, but you get last place, you still get $75. No, that ain't a whole lot. I will say that. But $75, it costs $40 to get in the pits here. It is a little expensive. But you get your $40 back. And it does cost $10 for the race receiver. I will give them that. Things are expensive. If it breaks, you don't pay for it. You just pay the rental fee. They eat the cost of it. They're like $240 or something like that each. So they are taking a risk. So yeah, you got $50 in the night just pulling in. And that's not including anything else. No gas to get there, no gas for the race car, no nothing. So you got $50. So you get your entry fee back, you get your transponder fee back, and you get $25 back. Now, I know gas prices, diesel prices, they aren't the kindest. Today, I think they're $3.26 a gallon for gas, like $3.78 a gallon for diesel, or something like that. Now, I live an hour away from there. So if I put $25 in gas or diesel, it will get me to the track. But if I get, let's say I have a good night, what if I get 4th place? Well, so it goes, let's see here, if I remember right. For that class, it goes $600 to win, $400 for second, $350. What is that? Maybe it's $300 for third, $250 for fourth. So if you get fourth, let's say you get fourth, you got $250. Take away that $50 for getting in the pits and your transponder fee. Man, I'll tell you what, that just paid for all your travel expenses to and from the track. Now, that doesn't pay, that could even pay, it depends on what you run. A lot of these guys are running E85. It don't cost a whole lot. I mean, it does cost a lot. You know, they're still paying $3 a gallon. I pay a little over $10 a gallon for my fuel, and that's a sponsorship dealer cost. If I go to the track and buy it, it's like $14 a gallon. So that's 1 gallon. And I use, if a whole race night, practice or the hot laps and qualifying and heat and feature, you know, I'm gonna burn about 8 gallons. So I'm gonna burn $100 in fuel, give or take. I mean, so if I was to get 4th place, that would pay for my entry fee, transponder fee, gas to get there and back, and that would pay for gas in the race car. You know, if I don't tear up anything else, I'd almost call that a win because I had fun, finished all right. Besides odds and end maintenance, you know, that you're supposed to do every day, clean some stuff up, re-lube some stuff, maybe rebuild some ball joints or, you know, whatever. Man, that really ain't that bad. You had a good time. You got away from work. You got away from home life. You got away from the real world crap. So, I mean, other tracks are paying $300 to win. I can get 4th place and almost dang near break even. You get 4th place at that other place. I mean, I'd be surprised if you got $100. Here, if you start, you at least get 75. I mean, man, I don't know. But anyways, I'm rambling on. Heck, video's already 22 minutes long. I'm rambling on. So here's what's going on. I am taking these daggum DOT tires off again. I'm putting my Hoosiers back on. I spent a lot of time prepping these Hoosiers over here and showing everybody how I can take them and clean them up a little bit, regrind them a little bit, and make them ready to go. I don't have new tires. I got old tires that's been sitting around for 2-3 years in somebody's barn that I kind of got screwed on a little bit because I still ain't got all the tires I was supposed to get. But anyways, I'm putting them babies back on, and I'm going out there. Now, here's what I got coming. Here's the special announcement that I'm excited about. You guys, it ain't your car. Set that down. It ain't your car, so you guys don't probably care. But since you guys are, I consider you guys doing this with me. That's what we're doing this all together now. I got a couple exciting things I'm going to bring up. So, come on, baby. So I went out for you guys. Sounds like it's starting to rain outside. For you guys. I'm doing it for you guys because I'm trying to be the best as I can for you guys and put on a show for you guys. Especially if you guys can't get to the racetracks or you guys want to follow me and, you know, you're rooting me on and stuff. So, she is dirty. Don't hate on me because, like I said, I ain't cleaned her up. But this carbonator here, this carburetor's going bye-bye. Sure is. Matter of fact, I would like, here's the bad thing, I don't even know what size carburetor that is. I could have messed up and bought a new carburetor, and it's the same thing I got. But I'm trying to find the numbers on this carburetor here. And it's probably, oh my gosh, it's probably just too dirty. Too dirty to see. But I'll pull her off of there. We'll get her all cleaned up a little bit. And we will see if I can find the numbers on that, dude. I think it's a 650. When I originally bought it from the people I bought it off of, it was fresh, ready to go, and they said it was a 650 CFM. So, I did the math. There is a math formula. And I'm going to let you in on everybody on the secret. So if you race, listen up. You take the cubic inches of your motor. Now, everybody knows what size motor I got. I got a 415. And you take the max RPM. Well, I just told you the max I go is like 7,000 RPM. It could go up to 78. That's what they said, but that's not where the power band is. But you take your cubic inch, 415, and you times it by 7,000 because that's your max RPM that you want to go. If you got a 355 and you take it up to 6,500 RPM, you take 355, you times that by 6,500. You hit equal on your little calculator. If not, it does some freaky kind of math stuff. That number that comes up with, that big old number, you divide that by 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know the formula. That's just what you do. It's going to come up with a 3. It's going to have some points, but you're going to come up with 3 digits. Mine came up as like 873 point blah, 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 blah. I need an 850 CFM carburetor on my car. Now, with the heads that I have on it, they do flow very well. They're very good headed. They are Dark Platinum Pros. They are the 230 cc's, 64 cc, or 230, I don't know. Anyways, all these fancy numbers, 64 cc combustion chambers, blah, 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 angle port heads. I have too small of a carburetor for the car. Also, I just found out this week that my car can weigh 2,900 pounds with me in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it. Now, back in the day when I drag raced, lighter, the more horsepower you got and the lighter your car is, the faster you're going to go. May not be that way in dirt. I don't know. But I am going to, so my car right now weighs 3120 with me in it. So I can drop 220 pounds off the car. That's a lot of weight. I don't even know if I have 220 pounds on the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all my lead off. I'm going to see how much this car weighs with me in it. And I'm going to put it on the scales again. And I'm going to, let's see here, I'm going to come close to set my ride heights as much as I can. Put it on the scales. And then I'm going to go from there. I'm going to start adding a little bit of weight until I get to 29, like 29.15. I want to make sure I'm a little over a little bit because everybody's scales ain't the same. And this is what I'm going to do because Shady Hill, I think I'm going to start running at Shady Hill on Saturdays if I can. They have a nice little series over there. It don't pay out a whole lot. It pays out, it pays out $500 to win. The series that I'm going to run this car in, it pays $800 to win. It pays $100 just to start. Man, if I got lucky and I won, I could put some money back for the next couple of weeks to get in there, get in the gates and in the pit gates and fuel. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I like these people that try to take care of the racers, even if the racers don't think so. But anyways, so I bought me a new carburetor. It's coming. It is another Willys. It is dyno tuned for this style of an engine. So I should be able to put it on the engine and it'd be very, very close to being completely tuned. That should help out a little bit. Now, when I finally get around to getting some sponsor money that there's been some issues. It's not really issues. I mean, it's just tough times. But when I do get that, I am going to get me some fresh tires. I'm going to get me one set of fresh tires. I'm going to get me one set, and then if I win, I'm going to buy me one tire with the winnings, just to have around, because on these cars, I mean, these tires, they can last 4 or 5 nights, I reckon, as long as nothing happens to them. But so I'm going to lower the weight by like 200 pounds on the car. I am going to take my 650 carburetor off, and I'm putting this new 850 on, brand spanking new 850 carburetor on. When I scale the car, I've got all new shocks on the car. I may, since I am lightening the car, if my theory is right about weight distribution and everything, is I may have to go a little bit lighter on the springs. Now that I have a lighter car, I don't have the weight coming down on it, so I may have to adjust the springs just a tad to get to to roll over or set and squat and get some traction. Not yet, but I am going to be looking for a new gear for the rear end. I got a 650 in there now. That's a go-to gear for a quarter-mile track. But I think I'm lacking just a little bit. And I don't know which way to go. I don't know whether to go 666 or 633s. It's not a big change. It's not a big change at all. It may raise, if I go down to a 633, it should, in theory, lower the RPM to about 6850 if I'm hitting 7,000. If I switch to a 666 gear, should raise it about 180 RPMs. So, it might put me at 7150. I got to do some more thinking, some more math, maybe call up some people, see if they'll give me some insight on if I need to stay where I'm at, or if I drop down, or if I go up, whichever way it would be more beneficial. If it'd be faster or slower or more traction. I mean, that's what you're always looking at, is for more traction. You could spin these tires all day long, but if you ain't hooking up and getting the traction, you ain't going nowhere. And that's another thing that people think about these big motors, is this is not a big motor, high horsepower track, especially for these cars. We're on an 8-inch tire. We're limited. So, if you have a 355 or a 360, putting out 450 horsepower, 475 foot-pounds of torque, and if you got a good set of shocks and your setup is good, I'm telling you, you would run circles around a guy that's got some big old powerhouse 700 horsepower motor, because unless he's got an A1 setup, but it's hard to do on these cars because we don't have the traction help. We don't have the pull bars, the J bars, the walk bars, and this bar, and tie downs, and we don't have all that. They're not allowed. So it's hard to get that traction hooked up. I think a guy would hang or possibly just smoke a high horsepower car because they ain't getting no traction. So anyways, that's just, I would say, a quick video. It's going to be about 35 minutes long. Just a quick update, I reckon, on what's going on. The only other thing I got to say is, here before too long, folks, there may be another race car in the shop. Not really a race car. It's going to be a street strip car. And I hope you guys are going to follow along for that. Because the old Trans Am over there, it's coming out of hibernation. Sure is. And we will get to that hopefully here within a month or so. I really got to focus on that Iowa car. There she still sits. I really ain't done much to it, but we'll get there. So, all right, folks, you guys have a good day. If you guys had any questions, go ahead and comment, like the video, share the videos, share my YouTube channel if you want. I'm just a plain old Jane guy. If you don't like me, you don't like me, but you can still at least watch the videos. You could give me a thumbs down for all I care. You can give me a thumbs down. You can give me all kinds of I'm an idiot, I'm stupid, I don't know what I'm talking about on comments, I really don't care. I'll still comment to you and hope you have a good day. And if you live in Indiana, come on by. Well, I don't drink, but if you want to come here and laugh at me while I work on the race car, I'll get you 6-pack. And you can sit. I got a nice little chair here. You can sit there and laugh at me and make fun of me, and you drink cold beer. I don't care. So, anyways, y'all have a good day. And until I get back on this, dude, keep it real, folks.